I come to you today with 10 insights in how you can communicate with others in such a way that you consistently become the keeper of the flame. You consistently light the fire within others. Now, here's what I know, or what I think I know about the people in this room. That you will have great days. You will have days where you thank your higher power for allowing you to do what you do. And then you will have some of those days where you ask yourself why you chose this profession. It's called life. We'll go through that. And it's on those days that I want you to remember these words. Because you don't need a motivational speaker when you are motivated. You don't need to remember this when everything is going exactly the way it's supposed to go. But here's what I know about the new reality. Here's what I know about the new normal. Very seldom do things go the way they're supposed to go. In fact, the title of my next book is going to be called, If You Want to Make God Laugh, Show Him Your Plan. Right? We're living in what I call the continuous crisis zone. But you're looking at a man who, like you, lives for the crisis. Because let me share with you how the Oxford Dictionary defines the word crisis. A defining moment or a turning point. And you and I know that every time you answer that bell, every time you respond to that alarm, that is a turning point in your life. That's a defining moment in your life. And here's what I know about all the people in this room. In those moments where you literally might be standing in the fire, you are at your finest. But how are you when you're not facing the fire? How are you when you are having a quieter day? How are you when you are administering your department? Are you bringing that kind of intensity? Are you bringing that kind of commitment? Are you bringing that kind of game every single day to the people who you're with? Because here's the scary thing about what I do for a living. And when I say scary, it's relatively speaking. I know who I'm talking to here. But here's the scary thing about me. Every single talk that I give has to be the finest talk that I can give. Do you know why? Because the vast majority of people in this room have never heard of me. Let's do a quick poll. How many of you in this room have never heard of Mike Lipkin? Let me see your hands. Excellent. Not that many people know how well known I am. I am the best speaker you've never heard of. I'm like this magnificently kept secret. But here's what I want to share with you. If you've never heard me speak before, based on the next 30 minutes, you will take an impression of me away with you that could last a lifetime. And I'm talking to you with that kind of awareness. I'm talking to you with that kind of sense of how deep the impact of my talk needs to be. And I need to do this every time. How would you feel about me today if Cheese Harms would have introduced me as follows? Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Mike Lipkin, one of the world's great speakers, when he's on. What would you think? I wonder who we're getting. And here's my question to all of you. Is there anyone in this room who has ever come to work in a bad mood? What happens when you come to work in a bad mood? Well, the obvious response is you come to work in a bad mood, that day productivity plummets. That day people don't want to be around you. That day, even when other people have come to work in a massively happy mood, you bring them down that day. But there's something far more dangerous about coming to work in a bad mood. You come to work in a bad mood one time, and people question what kind of mood you're going to be in the next day. You see, being a leader, being a chief, building a better fire department is an all-the-time thing, not just a some-of-the-time thing. And so one of the things that I do before I get up and give a talk of this nature is I focus on the privilege that I have to conduct this talk in this moment. And I get myself into what I call this on state. And I'm not always like this, just so you know. But I am like this when I need to be like this. And one of the reasons why I can be like this is I attend all my own seminars. Okay? And let me tell you why this is important. Let's go straight to the first insight in this little black book. You'll see step number one is be clear. Give opportunity the space. And let me tell you why it's important to attend your own seminars. Because as I'm speaking right now, you are sitting in this room, but you are listening to multiple voices. I am talking to you at the rate of about 200 words a minute. You are thinking at the rate of 800 words a minute, which means while Mike is speaking to you, 3 other people are speaking to you at the same time. What are they saying? Did you hear what I just said? In fact, have you ever been in a meeting where one of your people was talking to you and you were thinking about something very different, far, far away. But because you've been around, you put the most intelligent expression possible on your face. And then the other person says, so what do you think? And you go, about what? Right? So you want to be clear. And one of the techniques that I've seen outstanding communicators use is before they go into a meeting, they clear their mind so that they're totally accessible to the people in the meeting. That's number one. Number two, as I watched the ceremony this morning, I was struck by the richness and the depth of the tradition that characterizes fire departments. And it's a magnificent thing to behold. But here's what I believe. Tradition is a magnificent servant, but it might be a poor master. Tradition has brought us to this point. But we all know that we're heading into a world that's very, very different to the world that we're in right now. In fact, that new world could come at us tomorrow. One of the reasons I love living in this continent at this time is no one knows what's going on. There's a book that's just been written. It's called This Indecision is Final. So we're all going into the unknown. And my request to all of you is when someone is sharing a new idea with you, when someone is sharing a new point of view with you, when someone is coming at things and suggesting a whole new way of doing things, just be clear, be open to their point of view. Because here's what I think I see as I look at this audience. I see a group of men and women with very strong personalities. I see a group of men and women who can walk into a room and command a presence. You have a leadership aura around you. But what I hope I also see is a group of men and women who are open to other points of view and who don't immediately decide that the other person's wrong. How many of you have ever been in a meeting, somebody said something, and as the words came out of their mouth, you said, that's wrong. And then you shut down for the rest of the meeting. And then the next day you discovered the other person was not the one who was wrong. And I'll share something with you. If you ever say to yourself, this person is an idiot, that person senses it immediately. Because 90% of all communication is nonverbal. And here's what's known as a Lipkinism, a truth that cannot be denied. Be kind to the idiots in your life, because in somebody else's life, you're the idiot. And here's the thing. Here's what I want to share with you. If I can make one contribution to you today, it's this. If I can make one contribution to you today, it's this. When you're in a meeting, write down the following question in front of you and then keep it close. What happens if he's right?